Yo, yo, yo. We talking Evil Dead Burn. Um, just gonna give it a couple of seconds, get warmed up. Anyone who wants to join. Also, I have to test to make sure everything looks good because it's just me, y'all. It is just me. See, this is what I'm talking about. Got a little issue right now, but it's all good. So good. Mm. Mm. Dun, dun, dun. That's fine. Okay. Still setting up. Sorry, y'all. Just trying to get it right. Trying to get it right. Okay. Boom. What's good? What's up? Welcome back, Archival.Sessions. We are talking Evil Dead Burn. I don't know why at the beginning I was adding an S. I said Evil Dead Burns, but it's Evil Dead Burn. This movie was directed by, I think I just had his name up, Sebastian Vanakek. This whole movie is just a sick joke, honestly. The whole time I was watching, first of all, how it starts, a lot of quick cuts, kind of just like throwing us in of where we are in this Evil Dead universe kind of thing. I didn't watch Rise before this, so I don't know how it connects, but it connects to original source material with, the Book of the Dead, don't read this, the Deadites in the lake. And I believe so. Doesn't Eve Dead Rise? Wasn't she in the lake? So I'm thinking I'm seeing that connection, I guess. Um, but yeah, this movie was wild. It was wild, especially one of those first kills was like all the fish hooks on his face. It's just a crazy movie. But yeah, also I feel like these are, a good Kickstarter for any horror director. You know how Lee Cronin kind of started off his career. Um, what's his name? Fede Alvarez, Evil Dead started off his career. So it's like the male horror starter kick. That's what Evil Dead is becoming. It's men being able to start off their horror careers with Evil Dead. Um, but the thing with Evil Dead that kind of not I want to say was turning me off with this film was just this is now the third movie in a row where, it's a woman just being tortured. That's that's really what the movies are now, especially after the 2013 remake, requel, reboot thing, whatever it was. We're watching a woman just be tortured. And then Evil Dead Rise, once again, a woman be tortured. And then with this one, a woman be tortured. She was tortured in her normal life and she was tortured in her Evil Dead life. um, But I am glad this time that the person has a weapon with this whole dagger. And I think the next one is Evil Dead Wrath. So you can tell now they're being a little more intentional with the universe building. They're trying to connect these movies, and also I just yeah I said oh god so many times during this movie because they would set it up and you're just like, oh god, like, I know what they're gonna do next. It was insane. The whole time I was watching, I was just like, oh god, just kept saying, oh god, oh god, oh god. And the thing I really realized too about this film is how funny it is. And that was very intentional, you can tell. I'm just checking Twitter to make sure it's on there too. Yeah, it's running. But yeah, the whole time watching and I'm just like, okay, how this movie has like the jokes like there's a construction site near the funeral home and the husband dies, Will, and like they're talking like welcome to the and just like a loud it's just like okay this is ridiculous. Even the scene where they're shipping his body off, they're trying to move the thing, another just joke scene. um yeah, I want to know more about this director's background. He kind of gave me music video vibes, especially after the title, after that first opening scene on the water, we see those two men die. The next scene is, a black woman shaking her butt on the screen. That's the next shot. So I was like, okay, this is a music guy, or has a fetish for black women. I don't know what he got going on, but that was kind of weird for me. I was like, okay, where are we going with this? Then we're in a club. Let me see the whole dynamics of these two couples. Will and Alice. You can tell like he tries to control her. She can't do anything right. You can just tell like he's obviously abusing her. And as the movie goes along, we get more and more clues about what their relationship was like and how that relates to our guy who was obviously he opened the book, whatever it was. Well, not the book. He opened the dagger that will help them kill the Deadites. So yeah. Um Yeah, one thing about this movie that I didn't like, this movie's gray as hell. It is so gray. And I that's the thing. I think I hate saying there was good gore, but it was I mean like the gore scenes, all of the immaculate ways with the makeups and special effects, that was really good, but this movie is just gray. It's just gray. You're just watching it and like, wow, this is a really gray movie. And especially the scenes at the club and how they're talking, how everything's shot, it felt like an early 2000s like horror film, like all of those cabin fever and like the movie feels a little cheap, but then when we get to the house, that kind of goes away from me. I was kind of like, "Whoa, is this an early 2000s movie?" But that all goes away. Um, yeah, but this movie, it's just it's unserious, and I'm kind of just I'm gonna say I was turned off by it, but I didn't like it. I did not like this. I did like Evil Dead Rise. I did like it, but I feel like the direction they're going in now is I don't know how you can return to these movies. These are movies you watch and you're like, oh, okay, that's it. Like, hey, did you see the new Evil Dead? Yeah, I saw it, and I have nothing else after that because it's just like these movies are just kind of wild for wild sake. I don't know. I mean, there are funny scenes and there are some messed up scenes. Like, oh my, there's one scene where, the Deadites are trying to get the mom and the husband. Okay, even before I get to that, okay, there's a wild kiss scene that's like, wow, and they pushing on it. It's just like this is supposed to be like it's kind of a sad kiss because it's like, wow, she's accepting she'll just become a Deadite with her family. But there's a scene with the father, he just keep shooting himself in the head. Like he has a gun and he's like, he throws it in his mouth. Bang. Side. Bang. I think the other. Bang. Like three shots. We just see a guy shoot himself in the head. And it's like, is this overkill? I don't know. But a lot of this movie is just like too much. Um, Honestly, too much. And I didn't. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it. And the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I didn't like this movie because they were just doing a lot. They were doing way too much. And I think a big thing with the film is just it kind of all feels like overkill. You know, it all feels like overkill. Another thing that was kind of nah, I'm not gonna say interesting, but there were certain cool, especially like the snow and the fathers outside. It was cool, but then when he shoots himself in the head, it's like whoa, and then he keeps doing it. Yeah, I didn't like that. And then when he kills the girlfriend of the son, another scene that it felt really. I was saying this movie is just cruel for cruelty's sake. I don't know, but I didn't like that when he was hitting her with the car seat thing. How they shot it, it felt harsh. Um, it felt really harsh, and to see that actress from Night Agent and Chief of War, to see her in this be in this crazy role, I was like, wow. I bet this was fun for the actress. I bet this was a lot of fun because this movie is just like kind of insane in what it's doing. But yeah, I feel like these movies want to toe the line. Like Evil Dead is LOL, funny, crazy, fucked up. These movies are like cruel, fucked up, nasty, sometimes funny. Sometimes. And I think the sometimes works, but then sometimes, but for most of the movie, it's just really cruel. Like, really, really cruel. And already she's a domestic violence survivor, the our main protagonist, Alice. And she's coping with, the violence she met from her husband, and now is getting that violence from the whole family, from the grandma, the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, the dog, the son and the brother-in-law, the brother-in-law's girlfriend. Like everyone is pushing this violence toward her, and she's up to the point where now she needs to respond. And I think that's something that the 2013 one kind of set the tone with, like, oh, this is crazy. And then at some point she gets that chainsaw and sticks it in the head of the Deadite. It's kind of like in this one, it's like she has to stand up, as a domestic abuse survivor. How will she stand up? How will she move on? Is kind of what we're watching and what we're seeing. Yeah, but this movie's just yeah, but oh yeah, there's a scene where the mother, she's like, "Hey, you say like at the funeral, she says, hey, I want all my family to be back together," and he's like, "Hey, is that what you want? Like, come in, like." And obviously, it's showing you how Deadites are spread through like saliva, blood, some sort of body transfer, bodily fluid transfer. And the kiss first, she's like they're kissing, and you can tell she's not really that into it. And then the tongue starts coming out. Then they start really kissing. And I'm just like, mind you, it's in front of the grandma. So you're watching this kiss, and you're like this, like it's and it keeps getting closer and closer on the kiss. And you're just like, okay, this is kind of disgusting. Yeah, but Evil Dead, man. I'm kind of I just saw a chart and someone put it like either it's oh shit or LOL funny. Um and this definitely goes towards the more oh shit, but I was saying sometimes funny. Yeah, but this movie's a lot. It was just a lot for me. And I'm not gonna say I couldn't get down with the film, but I didn't like it because these movies you just like if I was by myself in the movie theater, yeah, I would walk out. I was just like, all right, no, too much. But in the theater, I mean, there's a couple next to me. They were jumping a couple of times. I had one scene. I'm like sipping my drink, and the jump scare. I did not even flinch. But if I was by myself, yeah, I'm flinching. I'm flinching a couple of times. Yeah, this movie's wild. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I'm just Evil Dead burned too much, too much. You can tell these directors have a certain, um, they have a style to them. These new Evil Dead guys, how they're coming in, like Fede Alvarez, Lee Cronin, and now Sebastian. Forgot his last name. They have a certain style to them, and now I want to see what he does next because I feel like Lee Cronin kind of hit the same button with Evil from Evil Dead Rise to um um from Evil Dead Rise to The Mummy. Now I want to see what this director does after Evil Dead Burn because it's like, okay, that was insane. What are you gonna do next? Because now you have like a style to you. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on Evil Dead Burn. It really is just like a cruel joke, more cruel than joke, but it is cruel movie. And what is with these guys and like grandmas? Like leave the like the grandma and the mummy was just like you're doing a lot with the grandma, and now in this one, still doing stuff with the grandma. And like, are people like losing their grandmothers and like they want to talk about it? I don't know what's going on with these directors and their grandmothers, but yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, peace. I'm out. Archival.Sessions, movie number 93. That was movie number 93. So yeah, peace.